Well, hello there, and welcome to Fibre Town. I'm glad you're here. My name is Emily, and you can find me on fibretown.blogspot.com. I did it right. Or on YouTube. And we also have a great Ravelry group, Fibre Town, and Fibre is spelled the European way, R-E. And yeah, I'm Chain of Fools on Ravelry, and there you go. So, welcome to Root Canal Part 2. I had my hopefully final part of the root canal this morning. Still a bit numbed up, but I figured I'd do this before the pain set in because I learned my lesson last week. The pain was fine that first day. The evening of the second day, it hit me, and I basically laid on the couch and moaned for 3 days. Tried to be as functional as I could, but it was not pretty, folks. So we'll see how I do this time, but here I am. It's okay. Okay, so hello to a few new people. Laura from Utah. Sorry, I'm reading over here. Kayleen from Australia. Rachel from Rhode Island. Victoria from Israel. Kate from West Virginia. Kelly from Virginia, so kind of local to me. In Indiana, we have Joanna Spring, who has the Knit Spin Farm podcast, and I can't tell you how much I enjoyed her last episode. I enjoy them all, but I just thought her last episode was genius. It was about combating the winter blues, blahs, and it was artsy and awesome, and I loved it. Okay, so those are the new folks. Oh, wait, that's not it. Gretchen from Wisconsin, Meg from New Jersey, and in Maine, Heather Boutros Babe introduced herself. Squee. So hi, Heather. Been a watcher of her podcast as well, and I learn a lot from watching her, and I'm very interested in her dyeing. I have none of her fiber or yarn, but it's on my wish list. So yeah, let's see. I have a couple of thank yous straight off the bat. Silly Fru, you all knew she was awesome, and she really is. I'm just here to testify. She heard me mention the Stitch and Bitch book last week that I wanted to send to my friend who is on hospital bed rest waiting for her twin girls to be born. And she's like, I have an extra since my gran passed away. Why don't I just mail it to her? So, awesome. So that is winging its way to my friend in Texas. And I also sent off the project bag I made for her, along with some pink and purple and all sorts of girly yarns for her to play with, as well as some extra needles. I sort of culled and cleaned out my needle stash and sent a lot of it on to her. So thank you, Silly Fru, Ladybug. That was great. Also, I got 2 gifted patterns yesterday. Let's see. And again, huge squee. Huge. Denise from the Knitting Den gifted me Mrs. Tumnus, and I have a picture of this. I love the shape of this. It's a shawl. It's designed to stay on your shoulders very well. Gorgeous. It's by Mimi Hill. It's called the Glare Mrs. Tumnus. So thank you, Denise. And she had a lovely episode out this week as well. And because of Denise, she's talking about eating clean a lot. And because of her, let's see, I had for lunch yesterday, I had a cucumber, carrots, spinach, broccoli, toast, and an apple, and some ham. So I got more than my recommended daily allowance of veggies. And I think I'm going to try to do that more often. I just get out of the habit. All right, so from Lisa of Fibre Nymph, I got a gifted pattern as well. She gifted me the Manu by Kate Davies. This is gorgeous. Manu by Kate Davies with pockets. Ooh, I like pockets. So yeah, got those added to my list. Thank you very much. That was lovely. All right, so I'd like to mention that we have a Ravelry group with a monthly giveaway. And let's see, since this is February 27th, 2013, I always mean to say that and I forget to say the date. Tomorrow is the last day of February, folks. So get those FOs in, and next week we will see who wins a pattern up to $7 please be a member of the group to play along. Let's see. Oh, I think we have about 95 members in the group right now with all those new folks. So that means very soon I will open a thread for you to tell me which one of these beauties you like best. To celebrate having 100 members, I will give one of them to a lucky winner. This is the 100% Romney. This is the Romney Alpaca Blend from Meduseld. So I'm hanging on to these till we get 100 members. Okie dokie. I think I've gotten through all the administrivia. And let's do show and tell. I have a few objects that I finished. The first one I don't have anymore because I gave it away as a birthday present. It was the Child's Koigu Fingerless Mitts. I did those on size 1.5 needles out of this yarn, Luna Aura. Pink and purple and orange. It's hard to see the orange. There's some of it. Right there. So they came out pretty nice, and the little girl loved them. Here they are. My son, my 5-year-old son, is modeling them in the picture. You can see a Star Wars watch down there. He's very comfortable in his masculinity. He doesn't mind. And his favorite color is purple, so like me. So those were a success and fun and fast to knit. Second time I knit those, and they're a great fast gift. The second FO is my weaving. I finally buckled down and knocked out my scarf. This is the 7th scarf I've made since I started weaving in October. And this is out of Apple Rose, the Apple Rose colorway of Blue Ridge footprints. Sorry, my screensaver just came on. Needs to be steamed a bit, and it's very wavy in places, but it's functional. It's got these pretty. The warp was the warp was supposed to be for heels and toes of socks. So yeah, it's very soft, nice. I think that I eventually need a better loom. My loom was free, so it's been great to learn on. But every project I do, I notice that there are things that are much harder than they should be, and I'm starting to get a lot of bad results from just the structure of the loom. Yeah. There's no way to clamp it down onto a table when I warp it or when I work with it, so it's just all shifting. And so yeah, I think someday I might spring for a better loom, thinking maybe a shocked flip. If anyone has an opinion, let me know. So that's that scarf, and I have my Zuzu's petals. You guys should see the yarn I used. It was the Into the World Vegetable Medley bat that I spun, Navajo plied, Polworth silk. It was a worsted, a true worsted, maybe even a little chunky in places. When I wound it, it looked like that. It was just yarn candy, and I probably should have just kept it to decorate with, but I do like the finished object. It's not quite totally dry, but this is what I had. I wanted to use all of the yarn, and it was pretty successful. So Zuzu's Petals is a cowl / dicky / shawlette. It looks like a shawlette, but it isn't really. And I did a few modifications. I fudged the lace where I could, where I messed up, because I always mess up lace. And I wanted to use up all the green, so I added garter stitch until I had used up all the green. And I'm very glad I did. So, smells good, feels great. I can't adjust it, but yeah. I'm happy with how it turned out, and I can see how a smaller yarn would make a more manageable cowl, but I love it. All right, so did I tell you everything? Oh, somebody last week, it was Joyce. Seltzer? I don't know, Seltzer. Asked me what I was wearing last week, and I had on my vitamin D, my pink vitamin D. and that was knit for Pinktober with the Knitting Den. And let's see, do I have a picture of that? Yes, I do. Here I am wearing it. It's in the wash right now. It's lying on a towel, drying out. I'm on a sweater washing kick. Just got all my hand knit sweaters and been washing them one after the other. The problem is they take a lot of room to spread them out and dry, so I have to slow down. I'm running out of space. Oh, I do have 2 snuggles, but they've already been donated to the animal shelter. One was crocheted and one was knit. Okay, those are my FOs. Let me tell you about my whips. I only have one because I finished this yesterday. This was very, very Moorish knit, as they say in Britain. It was Moorish, meaning it was potato chip knitting. I kept wanting to knit it. I wanted more, Moorish. I started the fingerless mitts for my husband to match his Windscheef. And yeah, I forgot that the Windscheef has twisted ribbing. So, always look on the bright side of life. At least I got to fit these on his hand and see if they fit, and they do. They're not too snug, not too loose. So rip, rip, rip. These will come out, and I'll do the rib again, twisted wise. And this is my hand spun Jacob from Meduseld, and this is a 3-ply as well. I'm all about the 3-plies, except for my last spinning. This is another item that's still a wee bit wet. This is Purple Lilies from Julie Spins. 2-ply, about 175 yards, although that was pre-washing, so I don't know how much I'll have now. It feels like it should be more than that, I don't know. This came out lovely. Let me see if I can show you all the goodness in here. Purples, lavenders, periwinkles. Ooh, and there's that pretty coppery stuff. It reminds me of irises a little bit, except not so much yellow. Okay. There it is, Purple Lilies. So, don't know. That'll go in the handspun stash to be determined. So, up and coming. I need to make a donation to Lemnit Crochet's fundraiser. She is raising money to honor her friend who passed away from histiocytosis. You should take a look at that fundraiser. She's got great prizes, 1 million of them, and it's a good cause. I'm also thinking about what I'm going to do for the pop culture knit along that Knitting in Circles is hosting. It might be a good excuse to take out my Nyan Cat yarn and knit some socks with that. And then I am considering casting on another sweater. After the burdock cardigan, I haven't had the guts to do it yet. Okay, but this, I'm kind of more of a process knitter than a product knitter. I love an ingenious, innovative construction kind of pattern, and when it comes to the end of a project like that, I always get a little sad. It's weird. Okay, but I'm thinking of knitting this. This is the Old Town by Carol Sunday, and it's knit with a sport, I think it's a sport weight. And yes, a sport weight. And everyone who's knit this pattern says it's ingenious, like the construction is so much fun. So I might cast that on when I get the yarn that would work for it. I do have some yarn coming my way from a Valentine's gift, so just have to finalize that sale and cast that on. Okay, so I met with my friend Jill yesterday and my friend Leanne, and we met up at Starbucks, and it was kind of like a drug deal, basically. It took place at Starbucks. Jill used to have Angora rabbits, and last time I saw her, she was knitting gloves out of the fiber from her rabbits that had been carded with merino. And I was like, can you get me some? Can you get me some? Please. So she's my Angora dealer. She gave me a bag of this. This is the merino Angora that she had left over, unspun. And you can see it's just like a baby cloud. But she also gave me 2 Ziploc baggies. 5 grams, $20,000 street value. 2 Ziploc baggies of just Angora for me to drum card with the fiber of my choice. I have some white Blueface Leicester silk. What do you think? Should I card it with this? It would be insane. So yeah, I think I might be doing some very fuzzy carding soon. And then I was thinking this merino Angora would be great on my supported spindle. I took a supported spindling class in November. I haven't done a whole lot of it since, but this would just be super nice and would get me a very fine yarn, I think. Maybe to knit a special baby hat out of. So yeah, so those are my up-and-coming things. I have a few more things to talk about before I sign off. Pigeon Roof Studios. The dyer's name is Krista. I called her Kendra the other day. It's Krista. She profiled me on her blog all about my hand-spun socks. I told you guys about that, and that is up, and it's really fun, and I will link to that in the show notes. And I wanted to mention an audio podcast that I've just really gotten into. It's called Twin Set, and it's twin sisters, obviously. You know, they have grown kids, and they are a font of knitting and spinning information. I always learn several things by listening to their podcast, and I really, really enjoy it. And one of them is trying the Master Knitter program, so she has a lot of interesting things to say about that, and they're funny and very enjoyable. So I would check them out if you're at all interested in audio podcasts and learning new things. Okay, so as I said, I was reorganizing my needle stash so I could get some to my friend in the hospital. And I wanted to show you all how I do it, at least for my circular needles. I used to have a massive bag of needles, and I never knew what I had and where things were. And, you know, I know that Ravelry has a system for keeping track of your needles, but it just wasn't really working for me as far as when I was out and about. So I got this little Rubbermaid bin. Actually, I already had this. And cardstock, and I think this is pretty key. This is my card, because it stands up nicely. And what I did is I made a little pocket for each needle size. And just to get really anal about it, last week I went through and wrote exactly what I had. This is, of course, size 1s. This talks about the cord length. And this is the brand. Addy Turbo, Addy Lace, Chargu Lace. So I know exactly what I have. Exactly. The material the needle's made out, the size of the needle, and the cord length. Now, they go all the way back. And what I did to keep track of this is I just took a picture of each one of these cards, and so I have it on my phone. So when I'm out at the yarn store, I don't buy duplicates. And obviously, duplicates have happened in the past. Just let me show you my size 6 card. Yeah, I have two 24-inch size 6s. Oops. And a lot of these have been given to me by friends who de-stash needles. So those are my fixed circs. And in the front, this is what I love. If I have a needle in use, and I always keep my needles in their envelopes. If I have a needle in use, I just knit my Zuzu's petals on these rosewood, lantern moons, signature circulars. I keep that in the front pocket, along with usually a needle gauge as well. And that way I know what's out there in the world doing its job. So it works for me, and then I can store it on the shelf or in a cupboard. All right. You having a good day? For about 20 minutes there, I forgot I had a root canal today. Keep your fingers crossed that I'm not in agony in the next few days, and that this is all over and all behind me. And have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you next week in Fibre Town. Bye-bye.